Saven, did you get any sleep last night? We're up so late. Hi, String Duo. King Alzog, thank you for sharing your art. Thank you for listening. Lurk, hello, and bye because food. I get it. I get it. I'm sorry if the clearing of my throat bothers people, but I'm still recovering. Luckily, I think I'm all out of my medicine. Should be all done, so the rest of it should just get cleared up with regular old water. You're a guitarist, player, singer. I only evaluate the... Aw, thank you. I got like a tiny bit sappy in the Discord message, and that's because like I was so close to just being like, I have so many random things to do today, and I don't want to stream it. So maybe I'll just do like, you know, taking requests. But then if I take requests, then I don't get the things done that I need to get done. So I'm doing it. I'm gonna be showing behind the scenes of the things that I go through when I'm not streaming in order to get covers out, and why sometimes things take longer than I want them to, and yeah. Sappy means like maybe a little bit over emotional, or just a little just emotional in general. Emotional. I just went into like, I tend to cancel the production streams or the work streams, even though plenty of people have said they enjoy it and they learn from it. And I know another reason why I want to do production streams is, even though I'm not good at them, is I have learned a lot from other people doing production. A lot from other people doing production. And so seeing other people's processes, I know is helpful. I just get insecure about my production streams because I don't consider myself good at it. So I tend to just cancel. Like if I'm feeling the slight like sick or not into it, it's just too much energy. And I'm also very aware that a lot of people who are watching, some of them are really great at production. That's their thing. And I'm like, you know, it's like if you're, it's like streaming your practice, but you know that it's a work in progress. It just feels weird. So, hi, Fernando. Dark Wolf, is it really National Violin Day? Oh my gosh. Hey, SR, how's it going? Look at all the YouTube peeps. It's nice to see you. So last night I actually stayed up after stream a few hours because I didn't realize that that's what I was hearing, but Bitter mentioned that there was phasing. And so I listened to each of the tracks separately, and I realized that an effect, or rather I put on an isotope, like I needed to denoise some of my violin tracks. And I had done that, and I did some pitch correction. And then there are just some areas that I hadn't listened to the entire tracks, which was mistake number one. But at the time I was rushing to get stream started, and I needed to help my son with his homework. And so I was like, these are usually the same effects that I usually put every single time, and they work just fine. So trusted it, moved on, no problem. And then I realized that that's what was causing the issue. But the problem is I had frozen and flattened the tracks. And so after stream, I had to go look for where those original sound samples were saved on my computer so I could drag and drop them and like re-put them together. So that was last night, and I was hoping to like fix like finish up the track, but in the end I realized I'm like, oh, that's what's causing. And sure enough, I brought the other stuff in and that's exactly what I needed. And I'm like, oh, okay. Alrighty then. So, um, but there are others still so much that I want to learn. I took, I really like learning. I am one of those, I don't know what you're like you, and anyone in chat, what type of learner are you? I know I don't like someone just throwing me in the deep end and figure it out. I like someone teaching me. I like knowing the steps. I like getting bite-sized steps along the way and growing my skills with them. And Ableton has definitely been a throw you in the deep end and figure it out. And I have been like just figuring out different ways to tread water. That's what it feels like for me. So just, okay. So I don't know if people think this is like weird or whatever, but I really enjoy courses and taking classes and whatnot. And I saw that Rachel Collier had a course. She has two courses, one on looping or performing with Ableton. And it has given me so much insight on how requests are most likely going to happen in the future. The only thing for me to get that up and going is getting my pedal hooked up. And then the other thing that I'm worried about is either my processor not being able to handle performing with Ableton, because it has shown that it has shown that it'll give me issues. So that's something that I'll need to figure out. And we'll figure that out together, probably. And then the second one is memory. If I can figure out how to save it on, I have an external hard drive that will fit everything. But if I can figure out how Ableton will save everything there and not on the one that's currently full. But that has been so helpful because she went over like little tricks in Ableton that I had no idea. And I'm like, this whole time, I didn't know. I didn't know this the whole time. So, Xaven says, also on Not Completely All. A lot of core viewers just like to hang out no matter what's going on. I see. That is true. That is true. That's another, like, what was it? I think Joe had a 6 stream a couple of weeks ago, and she was like nervous that, you know, people wouldn't show up, the viewership's going to be down, and that's always like nerve-wracking as a streamer, but that is usually the case with production as well. So, hi Rich. I learned through many means, we're all different. Yes. You're what? What? Are you in the right stream? I don't know. So anyways, if you wanted to know about performing with Ableton, I do recommend Rachel's course. It is so it's honestly underpriced for the amount of advice that she gives, which is so cool. And then she also does how to produce as well, which I haven't gone through that one yet, but I will. And that's been very helpful. That's what I've been doing, balancing out the producing side of me and then also taking time to learn because, yeah, I want like what I produce and make for you guys to constantly be getting better, not worse. Richard Lawson, hi, how are you? You made a day stream. Oh my gosh, Ross, what's going on? All right, let me check. let me just check what the volume's gonna be like so I don't blow out your eardrums. So that's the beginning of it. And like, my issue is I don't know if I maybe starting out, the piano VST that I had picked was something that I liked because it sounded atmospheric, and that's how I wanted it to sound in the end. But looking back, it has a lot of ambient noise that I'm not very happy with now that it's all together. And so if I compress it too much, like if I bring up the volume, it's a better volume at the beginning. Like I want it to be this present at the beginning. Which now that I think about it, maybe I'll just automate the gain on the whole thing. That might be what I need to do. Hey, Mike. Dirty Monkey says, I often find it helpful to have the same thing explained by multiple Yeah, that's something that I'm realizing I need. There's multiband compression is something that I still struggle with. For the most part, I'm getting better at it. I watched this morning, maybe 4 different YouTube tutorials, and they're all like 20 minutes long, explained by really great producers. And I'm getting the gist of it. It's just, really understanding what all the knobs are doing, like knowing exactly what you're doing to the sound. That's as opposed to just guessing. It's hard. And then the reason why I ended up starting late was like after last night, when you're working on something and your brain doesn't turn off. That happened last night, and I had to wake up early to get my son to school. And then I got home and I'm like, my brain is fried. We saw what happened 2 weeks ago when I was running on little sleep. Don't want that to happen again, so I went back to sleep for another hour. But yes, having the same thing explained by multiple different people is so incredibly helpful. King Alzog likes music classes. You listen to music you weren't used to. There's definitely a lot of things that listening to different genres and just different covers of songs. I like listening to other covers of the same song that I might be working on to get different ideas and not like copy what someone else is doing, but just see what direction people went into. And then that helps me with the brainstorming process. Your magazine, thanks for the follow. Also bring the same information across in different ways. As a violin teacher and a student, I never understood why professors have a hard time. I mean, I understand because I'm also a teacher, and so there's the whole like you can get insecure as a teacher, but if you're a violinist, I think it's so important to be learning from multiple different people. And I think it's good to have a main teacher, but just study with other people, or at least have that main teacher be aware that when you are playing for an audience or playing for a panel of judges or taking an audition or just anything, like you are playing for different people, which means that you have to win over a ton of different people, and they all have these different opinions about how things should be played, how things should be like how they want to be convinced of your playing. And so when you just learn from one person, you get a very one-sided view. It was not the music box sound bitter. I did need to EQ that down a little bit more, but... Hey, Big Pete, how's it going? Having a teacher at uni who was just too intelligent to be able to teach. He couldn't understand why his... You know what's funny? Okay, so Real Foolish Sage said that he couldn't... That professor couldn't understand why his subject was not incredibly obvious to everyone. Darth and I, Darth being my husband, we have this saying that if you cannot explain something simply, you simply don't understand it. And I agree. I think you should be able to explain something really well and explain it simply so that anyone could potentially understand it. Otherwise, you don't have a deep enough understanding of it. That's what I think. Simple was up in the stratosphere somewhere. Oh my gosh. Oh my dear goodness, Holomoni Live. Thank you so much for the raid. What's going on? Hey there. Holomoni, how was your stream? And how are you doing? Thank you so much for the raid. I am a violinist. My name is Julia. Today is a work and chill stream. So my violin's not out. I'm sorry. Otherwise I'd play something for you. But if you... Oh, thank you for the follow, Holomoni. But if you want to come back next time and just remind me of the raid, I would love to play something for you. That's a cool poop emote, right? You have to leave now. Okay, bye. Can we get a shout out for Holomoni? Go and follow. Everyone make sure that you go follow Holomoni. It's so nice of you. Thank you for the raid. I am working on Ableton stuff. So all that I ask is just that you don't backseat, please. And I need to figure out how to... I want to show you guys what's going on. Let me just... There you go. There you go. Now you can see stuff. Here, let me go ahead and give... Let me give a shout out to Holomoni really quick. That's okay, we don't got mods on. But I can do it. And let me check you out and give you a follow too. Ooh. Oh, French! Alright, so you play piano, you sing, you do loops, and you're a songwriter. Oh, that's so cool. Alright, you're live twice a week. That is so cool. And your remotes are so cute. I'm following. Maybe if I follow and hang out, my French isn't gonna completely go away. It's a vanilla stream. Oh, no worries. No worries. No worries at all. I totally get it. Okay. Let's go back to this. So I'll explain what is going on and what I'm struggling with. Please no backseating, respectfully. Every once in a while there will be, what's also interesting is it's the same thing with violin in that if you have a problem, there can be multiple ways to fix it, and they might all work for different people. But if a bunch of people in chat then tell me different ways to fix it, and then I try all of them, and then I get confused because I'm trying out way too many things, then that's not helpful for me either. So finally, me not knowing nothing comes in handy. Personally, there are more than 2 buttons, so there's no risk of that. That's me. When I like watching production streams because I'm like, we're going to see what happens next. I don't know what direction they're going to go in. I know that there's a bunch of different directions people can go in, but I'm just going to watch and see if I can learn and see if there's something that I can do on, on my own. So I'm going to go ahead and listen. I brought the piano up. There's something that I haven't yet tried. I'm curious. I wonder if I brought the piano closer to the middle and the Celeste more in the back. I don't, I'll see. Oh, I like that so much better. Okay, that's when the piano gets too loud. Right there, it's too loud. So I wonder if this is gonna sound really dumb. My mind was blown when I was watching a production stream, and like they didn't rely on compression to make this softer. They just went in automation and brought it down, and I was like, oh. I didn't realize that was a thing you could do. I didn't realize that was a thing you could do. I didn't realize you could actually just make that part quieter. Before I do that, also the EQ on violins, or something on the violins is bugging me. It sounds too tinny than I want it to. And I wonder if it's my reverb, because I don't remember it sounding tinny like that before the reverb. I actually, for the first time in a while, I ran this past D, which is one of our mods, who is, once upon a time was a sound engineer. And so every once in a while, he'll give me like a free little, there's an issue in this range, and there's an issue here, and you might want to try this. Every once in a while, he'll go ahead and do that. Idaho Randall, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Are adjustments able to be made in decibels? Yes, Big Pete. Yeah, they are. Is gonna production streamers restore. Oh gosh. I started out hating music production and just really being like, it's overwhelming. I don't like it. I don't like it. And now I am really enjoying it. Like, this would be something that's Like I've always hoped that one day I can just record the stuff, send it off, and have it just come out sounding amazing. But now the more that I'm doing it, the more I enjoy putting it together, and I enjoy the process, except for when a problem comes up and I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. That's when I don't enjoy it. I don't know. I don't like not knowing how to fix something if there's an issue, but um I would love to learn. Just say half to 1.5 decibels lower on just that channel. So the reason why I don't want to do that as a blanket is because I like the level here. I like how present the piano is here. When it's alone. Sorry, I'll play it with the whole track. Just make a fix button. So basically, over here when it's... Actually, oh, I feel really dumb. I've definitely seen production channels where they literally, before they do anything else, before they do any compression or anything else, they will go ahead and... I should really do that. Let's do that. Let's see if this fixes anything, because worst case scenario, I just Control Z and it doesn't work. So, but yeah, if anyone's ever wondering, Socks Monster, thanks. I'm very happy with the arrangement. I'm really happy with the arrangement. Arranging stuff is something that I really enjoy doing. I definitely went, Guitar Shredder! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Can we get a shout out for Guitar Shredder? The chillest and coolest. Oh, goodness. You good? Oh, okay. Sorry, there was a sound that startled me. The chillest and coolest guitar player that you'll find on Twitch. He's awesome. He does practice. He has got a very, very cool Spotify. He's awesome. How's it going? How was your stream? Did you practice? Did you rant? Lots of practicing today. Got it. Oh, welcome in. Yeah, shout out to Guitar Shredder. Go give him a follow if you like just basically a stream like this where it's just chill, you talk, you learn from him. It's a good time. We're working on production stuff. Otherwise, I'd play you something, but my violin's not out, so I'm sorry. Oh, How's your arm doing, by the way? I know it's what I think last time. Are you? Do you still have to wear the sleeve? Are you still struggling with tendinitis, or? So I consolidated. So I will be able to. All right, it's at track volume. Oh wait. This is when I learned something. Let's see. There's a... Ooh. Let's see what happens there. Hey, that's better. Your thumb is collapsing into your... Ah? Is it like a thumb issue, or is it... Not a thumb issue, obviously. No, is it a joint issue? Is it a tendon issue? Is it a like... Why would... I've never heard of a thumb collapsing into the palm. Does it like... hold on. I need to learn about this. Does it go like that way, or does it, is it when it does that? Because sometimes I have never joint. Oh, muscle stability and joint hyperextension issue. Ow. Owie, owie. My goodness. I'm sorry about that. That really sucks. Well, I'm glad you had a good practice. That's what I get for practicing. No! We don't want... Okay. Oh, boy. All right, let's do this so y'all can see a little bit better. It's probably better. And his shoulder. So if you put a sweater wrong, his shoulder... That bad. If you're... Oh. Idaho Randall? I wonder, does my gear command work? I know my mic command works. But it's a very talky stream, so if you want to know something, just let me know. Oops. Nope, wrong way. Wrong way. So I want to do this section as well. I seem to remember, though, this is when I'm like, I'll stop doing what I'm doing and go somewhere else, because I seem to remember when I watched a tutorial somewhere on YouTube, they changed this and they were able to physically bring, like, the automation actually brought this down. It wasn't automation. Okay, let me try something else. I brought that down. Let me try something else. This is when I test out different things to see if they work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So I'm gonna stop that right there. If it's like a really big area, then sometimes what I can do, this is what I'm going to check and see what I prefer doing. I'll change the gain here, because then there you go. Let's see how that is. I like that a lot. Okay. So it turns out all I needed to do, yeah, in this situation, I played around with the compression so much last night, and like bringing the quiet parts up just resulted in noise. And I'm like, no, just like it's too loud in this area and it's too loud in that area. And there's like, yeah, compression will bring soft stuff up and loud stuff down. But the thing is, it'll bring all the soft stuff up, including like pedal noise or reverb noise in the plugin, and like there's just, when it gets really loud as a piano, it's too loud for the entire mix. And so then I forgot that I could physically change. So I'm gonna do this section and just bring it down slightly. Let me do something also and turn off. Thanks, Gillian. I forgot about that. Okay. So better. Much better. Okay, so just let me know what y'all think. I think that gets the piano out of the way because it was fine in other areas. If I brought all of it down, I mean, I brought the piano down to like, here. I brought the piano down all the way to like -10 so that it wasn't overpowering, but then it just felt like there was nothing everywhere else. So I think this is a... Also, I took the reverb off violin and it's already way less tinny, so I'm like, okay, there's... I also think now that the Celeste is on the other side, like on the panned super, I think I can bring it up a bit more. I'm just learning Ableton Live and all the gear for looping as well as sound production. I'm learning it too. There's a lot of, I learned it all from YouTube, honestly. Justine Griffin has a couple of how-tos, and there's someone else. Alana Maddie had how she does it too. The most useful thing that I've gone through, the most useful thing, which I think they even had a payment plan if you wanted to do that, is Rachel Collier's how to perform with Ableton. She goes over live looping and over those over gear, as well as how to produce with Ableton. It is like, she does it so well, and she's also like the master. So I highly recommend it. It is an investment, but the amount of like little tricks and advice that she has for how to do it is like amazing. I really, really recommend it. Is it too loud? I don't think so. I'm so much happier with this already. Oh my gosh. I can already tell this is going to be way too loud. Oh, thanks. I definitely need to fix those links as well. So you've got the Akai APC 40 MK2 and the Focusrite 18i8. The Focusrite's really good. I used to have the 4i4, and then I gave it up because I couldn't put reverb on it, and at the time I wasn't comfortable running anything through Ableton and back into OBS. And then it also, like, it didn't process desktop audio and my mic at the same time. And so if I wanted to play along to a track, I needed to set in within OBS a delay of my mic, which was annoying. I still don't know how I would fix that, or maybe there was a solution, I just didn't know it at the time. So then I switched to the Yamaha MG10XU, but now I'm having issues with that in terms of I can't turn off whether I'm monitoring my own mic, which is a problem if I want to play into Ableton because I have a plugin routing my Ableton sound into OBS. Yeah. It's not. Oh, it's frustrating. And so either you will hear double or I will hear double. I can't. That's another thing where I'm like, in order to fix it, I'd rather me hear double. But that's another thing that I have to figure out and fix, but I don't know how. All right, I'm gonna maybe just... I don't want to bring all of this down, just some of it. Let's do something like that. And then bring that down just ever so slightly. Like that. 2 decibels. Not a ton. So here, the bass, it's getting too muddy right around here, and that's just... So I wonder if... I'll just try that out. Bitter? I don't. Not sure what you mean by that. All right, let's try that. better. I still feel like it's a little bit too... The volume is better. I think it's... I go in between it either being way too bassy or is not... It's completely bassless. So this now just seems like it's too much. So what I'm gonna do is just this area. Nope. No. There you go. Let's do that. Just bring it down a little bit. There you go. This is also too loud. There you go. It's not... Okay, so what I'm going to do here is... There you go. Hey Vargon, this is Ableton. This is Ableton. Yeah, no, Bitter. The only thing that I've really messed with is reverb. As of right now, everything that I've seen of how to produce vocals and instrumentals, the plugin that you're talking about or effect or whatever is not like a make it or break it type of thing. So I'm not messing with it. And it's not something that's been recommended to me by like producers that I've asked. So I'm sure that it gets used by some and they probably say that it's a make or break for them, but it is not on my plate right now. I just want to learn how to use compression well. I figure I need to master the basics first before I start messing with other stuff like that. Idaho Randall says, thanks. Also watch Justin Griffin and Joe Plays Violin. They're awesome, aren't they? Heard of Rachel Collier and always searching good YouTube videos. She has a lot of YouTube videos on live looping. But yeah, she also has like an online course that is, I want to say like 5 or 6 hours long, and they're broken up into very small little lessons going over everything, both about producing and performing with Ableton. So like look those up. She's got links to those on her Instagram. I'm not an affiliate, I promise, even though I sound like one. It's only because I was like, I was desperate to learn more and like, you know, really get hands-on on it. And I went through it and it is amazing. So, and if your main instruments are acoustic guitar and piano, like it's going to be perfect for you. But at the very least, her YouTube videos are really, really helpful. Maybe just extend that here. There you go. That's better. Okay. So then this is the only thing that now is just a little bit too... Let's do this and just see if there's any... That's interesting. I totally thought it was the bass that was clipping and causing too many issues, but it was the right hand. It's funny, all together though, it's too much though, isn't it? Frayne, what? You're here watching! You made it to a stream, Mr. Frayne. Alright, now I think it's time for me to look at what my compression's doing. Let me do that again. That's better. Let me just bring the ratio up slightly. That's better. What happens if I bring it up to 4? Justine Fan here as well. She is so good at what she does, and she's so sweet. I have, like... I have so much respect for both her and Joe. Like, they put so much work into what they do. It is awesome. I shall stay and shan't not... That's a double negative, Mr. Frayne. Are you working hard or hardly working, Mr. Frayne? Okay, so something else I want to try out is I found a YouTuber who does production that I found very helpful. I think his name is Ethan Davis. Let me go look that up. So Sam Smyers was very helpful. I love Reed Steffen. LNA does audio stuff. Very helpful. You Suck at Producing is also great. But I think... yeah, Ethan Davis. Very, 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 very helpful. But there's something that most people have just said, like EQ, compression, and then like other audio stuff. What he does with his vocals is he makes a compression sandwich. So he starts off with light compression and then does his EQ and then does audio effects and then compresses again a little bit more heavily. So I'm wondering what happens if I were to do this. I had the Spectrum on because I kept hearing muddiness. And so I put that there and on the master to figure out where the muddiness is coming from. And it kind of helped, but still gave me issues. I'll check their channel out as I'm a recording, mixing, production novice myself. Yeah, let me know if you want the people to watch because I've found them. And at least for me, like there aren't a lot of people that explain how to do instrumentals very well. But I found that vocal mixing is very similar to violin. And I did find this website where I just looked up like how do you EQ violin, and someone just has like, this is where these things happen, this is where string noises, this is where this is, and I kind of follow that and then tweak as needed. Ethan Davis. Oh my gosh. Maybe shouldn't have been naughty. Does anyone do Elf on a Shelf? Something that's fun for me as a mom is being part of local Facebook mom groups. It is like, I don't need reality TV show by being there. And I'm finding that there's so much drama about Elf on a Shelf. And I didn't even know that Elf on a Shelf existed until, I want to say last year. I discovered that Elf on a Shelf was a thing last year. I'd never heard of it. I never heard of Elf on a Shelf. And so imagine me as an adult finding out that there's this tradition called Elf on a Shelf. And what the elf does is it sits, and overnight it moves to a different spot because it has to watch to see if we're doing good. It's so creepy. Why is this a tradition that people like? I don't get it. Not a thing here because it doesn't rhyme here. Apparently it's a huge thing in the States. The first time that I'm ever hearing about it. It's very creepy. And there's like moms that are like, how do you deal with the pressure of, you know, and like the kids will get excited in the morning. So the kids will wake up early wanting to know, like, I want to find the elf to figure out where it's moved. And it's exciting for the kids. And sometimes the moms, if they wake up too late for the kids and the kids are like, I'm trying to find the elf, they just take the elf and they put it in their robe pocket because they didn't move it in time. And so they're like, oh, well, I guess the elf didn't show up today because you're naughty yesterday. And I'm like, ah, what? Like, Santa is creepy if you break it down. Yeah, we did not teach our kid that Santa's real. We told him that Santa's a thing, like Iron Man and Spider-Man's a thing. And there's movies about Santa, and it's a tradition, but he ain't real. And he's not coming into our house. Which try to one-up each other and find more interesting places to put it. Just took it out of the freezer. There's some hilarious elves out there. Oh, that's funny. Just let the kids watch Chucky. They'll be very paranoid about puppets. Oh my gosh. You read comments that are not visible for me. Frayne, I stream on I stream on both Twitch and the YouTubes. I stream on both Twitch and the YouTubes. Be sure to pick it up on Christmas Eve as it is supposed to go back to North Pole. We made that mistakes. See, that's just like... Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm gonna just see what happens if I do. So multi-band dynamic is something else that I wanted to try out, and that I found at, hold on, let me I'm gonna do this just because I want to try something out. And that is, let me see, toggles the gain control and dynamics processing for the high band on or off. So I'm gonna do that. And the reason for this is I want to try something. This is when a lot of my mixing and stuff is me testing stuff out because I saw someone do it and I wonder if I can do it for me too. And that is the mids of my piano is too much. And this causes a lot of mud. And so sometimes I wonder, I saw this done somewhere. If I can sidechain the mids of my piano to my violin. So when my violin is not playing, it's a full piano. You can hear everything because there's room for it. And when all the violins come in, it is pulled back a little bit so it doesn't cause quite so much mud. So I'm going to try this out. And it might sound like absolute poop, but we're going to try it anyways. And this is when I'm like, okay, so it causes downward and upward compression as well as downward and upward expansion. I sound like a textbook right now because I've listened to a bunch of them. So basically, I'm going to do anything below this point. No, I want it. This is when I'm like, okay, they just explained it. You bring this, so anything underneath, you bring it down or you bring it up. This is when I look at this thing. I love the info view so much. Drag up or down in the blocks to increase or decrease volumes. That is a pretty easy way of explaining it. Cool. Hey, it's working. Way too much, but it's working. Okay. It's doing the thing that I want it to do. That's nice. It's a negative 750. That is so weird. Am I the only one that thinks that's weird? Like, it goes down ever so slightly and all of a sudden it's... No. Hey, Socks Monster. No, I don't like that one bit. I'm not gonna do that. No, sorry. Okay. But then it can get really muffled. So this is what I'm struggling with. I want the clarity of the piano to come out. I just don't want the muddiness. But I wonder, I do remember seeing that this, wonder if I bring down, the muddiness can sometimes be more around there. So I wonder if, better? And it's doing something. Okay, let's hear. It is cleaner. I was able to clean it up. Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm sure that that's not like the most perfect way ever that could have happened, but it did clean it up. I'm like, yes. Siokumi, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. What I found is basically anything under 80 especially is like really deep bassy mud. That you want to limit like only one or two, like whatever is your bass. That's what needs to be there. So I've allowed the piano to have some of that, which is right here. So it has some bass. But around the like 200 to 350 range is where there can be a lot of mid mud. So right now it's at 728. I wonder what happens if I... Oh, that's even better. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So now I'm just pushing down all the crap that's under 350. Sorry. And the tops are clear. I wonder what happens if I... Oh, that's even better. I think. This is when I start second guessing myself and I'm like, I can't tell. Let's try that. It's just, worry about it. because I don't want this, like, compressing the mids to change the tone of the piano. Okay. Okay, now my question is, does the multiband dynamics go before or after the classical compression? Around 8 there. Hold on. I like that better. Another funny thing ever since I started mixing was the ability to, or like, most of your time is listening to two almost identical things over and over and over again and trying to figure out which one sounds better, but making all those tiny little decisions over and over and over again, in the end, turns into a song that sounds way better than it would have otherwise. But it's just, sometimes I feel like I'm going nuts. Sometimes I feel like I go nuts. Okay. I think I kind of want to leave this alone now. Oh yeah, this is my Celeste. I have a bunch of compression on it because it would pop out too much. I don't know that this is really doing very much. I EQ'd it like this. And then I don't know if I like this or not. It's definitely clear without it, but yeah, that's when you need to take a break. It gets lost a little bit too much though. Ooh. At this point, you can't even really hear the celeste, but you can hear the rhythm behind it. You can still hear it. It's kind of like when you go see an orchestra. Like there's people playing, you can't pick out exactly what they're playing, but you can still hear it, and the rhythm in the background is. You can hear it here though, so I'm happy with that. Okay. Oh, oops. I still had some delay. Turn that down. All right, now let me go over violin EQ. I need to go over at some point exactly where I need to set up, because something that is really bugging me is whenever my fingers hit the fingerboard, you can hear it. This mic is so good, it picks all of it up, and so I either need to adjust my playing or adjust my positioning compared to the mic, because I think right now for recording stuff like this, I'm a little bit too close. I am not re-recording everything. It's not happening. Just for me to figure that out. That's something that I'll figure out for the next recording, probably for Toxic. But that's something that I need to do. So the only thing that's my EQ is bugging me right now because it just seems like I'm just making everything higher, which is not what I want. So let me start again from here and just see what I can do. Hey, Alfred Wallace, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hey, Seven, I wish to learn to do this, but it's hard for me. It's hard for everybody. It's hard for me too. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying. So something that I learned with violin is boosting the ends over here. Give some of that like sparkle that I like. Right there on the A string, it's a little bit too flat for me, and I'm trying to figure out where that would be. It seems like it's right here. There. I want that boosted a little bit. I need to, oops. Oi. Oh, is this? I think. Why is there a pop? I know why there's a pop. This is 59. This is the reason why I froze the track and started, because if I do something on Ableton, let me see if that... There you go. That's better. Okay. Adjusted it in Melodyne. That should be fine. There is no easy one. I don't know. 7, I am not probably the best person to ask for help because I don't know how to use anything other than Ableton. And it's not necessarily easy, and I don't know if there's anything out there that's easy, but I would say go with what you can afford, what's free? Is it Reaper that's free? Go with what's free first and then use YouTube. That's what I would say. But yeah, thanks for the follow, Zach Rap. I can't remember if I said it in my head or out loud. Also, I was trying out I wanted to try it out. I did the Waves library, and so far the only thing that I need to maybe go watch someone go through all of the plugins that are available in the library. The only one that I knew about is this compressor, which I really like. It makes it sound really pretty. Is it really a 60-day trial? There was something that was free, isn't... I thought there was one DAW that was free. I've never used it, so I don't know. But that's awesome. Ableton, I used Ableton for like 6 months before I finally bought it. And it was also a 30-day or 90-day or 60. It was some sort of 1 to 2 months or something like that trial. And I just kept changing my email address because I wasn't sure if mixing was something that I was gonna go all in on. And so I didn't want to buy it if I wasn't gonna do it because it's expensive. You have to buy an Apple computer first, though. Like, if I want to use, what is it, Pro Tools? Is that the one that other people use? No, Logic. If I want to use Logic, I have to buy a MacBook. So it's not really free. like DaVinci Resolve is free. Doesn't matter what type of computer you have, you can download it on whatever computer you got. Logic is not free. I have to change my whole operating system and everything for it. Like, I have to chuck what I've got and get something new. Get Gillian. No. So right now, here, I'm gonna do... Do you hear that? Like... So I finally got this, and I was playing it just on the single line, and I'm like, I don't hear a difference. All right, because I didn't want it just to make it louder. But everyone kept saying that this is a really great compressor of bringing it out into the forefront of the mix and just making it sound just so nicely nestled. And if you hear it without... there's not much of a difference. Now, granted, I brought the peak reduction down so that it wasn't messing with too much of what, like, when I play this, I don't, with violin, I don't want it to go past here. So if I have all three of them. I wonder, maybe I can bring it up just slightly more. Let's see what happens there. And just bring it up that much more, just, it does too much. Let's try that much. I don't know about you, but I can definitely hear, if I if I do too much compression, it messes with the sounds of the bow strokes. Aw, thank you, Seven. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you. I'm hearing all sorts of stuff of, like, this is interesting. I'm noticing that, so I got a new mic. It picks up on too much. Like, it sounds, let me see if I can show you what I mean. I was trying so hard to make, like, a really nice airy sound, and it just sounds belabored. My sound sounds belabored. It sounds like there's too much effort, if that makes sense. And all that is really is just, you can hear a little bit too much noise. And it's because this is so close to the violin and it picks up so much. If you were to hear that sound across from a stage, it would be like you have too much tension in your playing. There's too much going on. Like you are putting too much tension. You're putting too much pressure. That's what my initial thoughts would be. I re-recorded this so many times, and each time it turned out the same, even though I'm like, I'm not playing with tension. And it's just, that's when I realized whether it's the dry room or, which, yay, I figured out how to make my room dry, I guess. But it's, I think I'm too close to the mic. I need to figure out a better mic positioning. I think that's what I need to figure out. Does that make sense? I'm using Ableton. Hey, Bioman. So that's the only thing that I'm like, is figuring out how to position a mic so that it gets like that the silky sound of the violin that happens when you're a few feet away. But if I play a few feet away from this, I don't want the clarity to be lost. So I'm gonna need to figure that out, or like adjust my playing so that I need to figure out how to adjust my playing so that it's not scared either. So anyways, but yeah. So yeah, this is too much. It's messing with my bow. That's not bad. Let's try. It's funny how just going from 45 to 46, needle's not moving, and all of a sudden it's going crazy. How close were you to the mic when I recorded? I was like 2 feet away. So I think I'm gonna try moving it further back. Is there a way to filter it out? Put tape of where you should stand and where your mic needs to be so you won't lose your position. Yep. That's something that I'm hoping eventually. Well, when I record, I sit down, so where I'm sitting isn't ever really going to change. But I think eventually once I get a mic arm, that's something that I'll be able to keep a bit more steady. So I think I like this. There you go. And this is when I get annoyed that I was like, oh, why was I vibrating so much? But nothing I can do about it now. So now what I want to do is make sure that the output, like, I don't want, just because I added this, for it to be any louder or softer. So nope, it's good. So yeah, it's funny because you can't tell that there's a difference if I just play the violins by themselves. But if I play them with everything else... Okay. This section is now again too loud. Sorry about the coughing. That happens. Okay, so it just gets a little bit too, the piano gets a little bit too loud still. So this is what I'm going to, I've seen advice given about putting multiple compression on. So I want to see what happens if I do something like this. This is just a basic peak compressor. I'm curious. What happens if I do this? So the option is either basic peak compressor or I wonder if a limiter would work. I don't know. Let's see. Just turn that off and then just, I'm curious. That little noise that you heard was my CPU being like, ah! I like this. That I like what that did. Let me see what happens if I do a little bit bigger attack. This is when I can tell it's working too hard because the tops of dun da da dun and the violin, they're not cutting through like I want them to. So that's when I'm like, no, it's too much. Too much. Just bring it to 43.5. I'm sure you could. It probably wouldn't sound like very much because I don't know that it would do anything to the strings. It would just play along the strings. Sugar Fat Man asks, serious question, can you play a violin with the dull side of a knife? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm really okay, so now I feel a little bit... Fix that, fix that, fix that. Fixed a lot of the piano issues. Got some of this on. That cleaned it up. That really helped. I'm curious, what happens? That's better. This used to be like way high like this. So there's way too much there. Only if I put rosin on it. Oh my gosh. Yes, technically that's true. Oh my gosh, let me save. And then the other thing I have maybe 10 minutes for until I have to go is I am using right now Valhalla Vintage Verb. The only thing is... actually don't like this because it sounds tinny. Let me see. Bye, Vargon. Can we get a shout out for Vargon, please? Hey, Nanino? Hey, Nanino, how's it going? Welcome in. Yeah, I can't tell if it's a... I'm not even using the right... Let me just do the violins by themselves. I don't really like pre-delay. Fancy that. Hey, Mike Chmary. Hey, Waylander. How's it going? Thank you. Nanino, why no views? You just... Aw, thank you, Nanino. I'm multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube, and what I have found ever since I started multi-streaming is that people find me on YouTube and go, oh, you're on Twitch! And then they go over to Twitch. So... you're welcome to join over here or just stay. It don't matter. It's okay. But thanks. But yeah, I don't think I like I keep seeing other people do pre-delay and I'm like, I don't like it. I don't. Dirty Monkey, thanks for letting me know. I think it was a restream issue, like which is the software that I use to stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I don't know why. It seems like YouTube just never got the memo. All right, let me bring this down to where it's probably most likely gonna be a bit. Oh, no, is that what I meant? Let's try that. There you go. Sorry. Very sorry. Good night, Nino. Okay, what do y'all think? Is this a better? The balances are much better. I've also discovered that I like delay. Free delay and the reverb is different. What do y'all think? I think I like it. So the only thing that I want is right here. The lead. Oh, I have to go. But I'm excited because I finally am getting it to where I want it to be. Oh. So I'm gonna do. Oh. Nope. Track volume. No. Just gonna bring that up a little bit because I can't hear it. I can't hear it. There you go. Happy with that. You're making an album. No, this is just my next release. I'm doing 2 Christmas releases, and this should have been released last week, but because I've been having issues with the mix, it hasn't been coming out on time. So, but, hey, thanks for hanging out. I hope that you enjoyed this. This is what I do during the day when I'm not streaming. When, I imagine that people are probably thinking, why is it taking so long for a cover to come out? Is because I don't hire anyone to do mixes. I work with M. Young, who works for Villainous, which is Jonathan Young's production team. And the one where I have the little avatar floating around, I make the videos, but she does the production for those. So, like, the plan was once a month, but at the moment it's been like every other month we'll do something together. But at the moment, like, for an every week thing, I do it mostly myself. I enjoy it. Well, it's like I don't make a cover every single week, and I know that when I do produce covers often, it's better, which also, can you hear the music is now at 21,000 views. Yay, thank you. Hey, Charles. So I know that making covers is going to be the thing that, is good for us. At the same time, it is really hard for me to make weekly covers. If I did not have a kid, it'd be a lot easier, but I do have a kid. I'm a mom as well. So, anyways, we're going to raid Jerfo the Music Addict if you're on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, then I hope that you have an awesome time. Stick around. I'm going to do the end screen so that YouTubers don't feel all left out and whatnot. But thanks for being here. I will see you all on Friday for 10K subs celebration on YouTube. I'll be live for longer than 2 hours. It'll be like a 4-hour thing. If you're a Patreoner, then join the Patreon. So you can get in some requests, so you don't have to pay $5 per request. You get 1 request per stream if you're a Patreoner. Also, join the Patreon. That way, you get to hear this, and you get the final version, and you get an MP3 of it as well. So, You'll get an MP3 of this, and the other one is Silent Night, which shouldn't give me as many issues because um, there's less layers. So, anyways, I'll see you all on Friday. Bye.